Morning, everyone. Again, it's me, Joel, on the road. Once again, just dropped the children off. And of course, still doesn't feel right. But it's Monday, documenting what's going on in the world where I'm at right now. Home, on TV. Actually, no, where was I? I was on the TGIF yesterday. I thought about talking about it yesterday, but I didn't know what to say. I was just taking it in. I saw that, Trump somebody was waiting in the bushes by a golf course. They said it's an attempted, I guess, another assassination. They don't know if the person fired or not, but the Secret Service detail, they were able to fire upon the person first. The person fled, and they say they have somebody of interest there. I don't know, man. I actually do know. Let me stop saying that. I do know. The world is a dark place. This is the second attempt on his life. I don't know what would make somebody want to take the life of another man, either because of his policies or either because of what he says. It's almost bewildering. And at the same time, I watch my children. They were still oblivious and ignorant to the cause or ignorant of what's going on in the world because they're not they haven't settled their mind or attached their mind to the words of the world, or I even haven't hoisted it upon them. I'm kind of jealous of them a little bit. I guess it is good to be informed with the world around you, but sometimes having so much information about the world around you may not be good because it stops you from actually moving forward. All my children do is they they're concerned about creating and being well and having a good life, enjoying the time that they have. That's the lesson for me today. We were in the car driving again, listening to Redwall. Again, I encourage you guys to, if you don't read or you read or whatnot, Redwall's a good series. Speaks about honor, speaks about loyalty, speaks about community. You know, which is good. So whenever we're driving in the car, they ask me a whole bunch of questions. Like today. Today we were driving, and there's a scene in one of the shows where 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 someone there was a rabbit family, and they were afraid, so they were trying to keep Martin, Rose, and two other travelers that they're traveling with. Martin is the hero of the story, and Rose is the love interest. Of course, that's in almost every story, any good story. But there was a rabbit family that were protecting themselves from a group of people that were coming against them, and they said, "Look out for this group. They're a group of lizards," and they said that they're cannibals. And of course, my son said, "Dad, what's a cannibal?" And this is a fourth grader, and I was able to tell him. I don't think he really understood it though, but I said they're people that eat their own kind, and it seems I'm not sure if he fully understood it, but he didn't ask any questions after that. But there was another scene where the lizard caught them, and the lizards were giving them fresh water, and they were giving them food to eat. You know, even though their hands were bound and wrapped up, they they were enslaved. But the lizards were giving them water to drink, clean water. At first, they tested the water to see what it was, and they just guzzled it down. And then they brought something like porridge. They tested that too, and they were like, "Man, this is good." So they started eating it. But one person who was with the crew with Martin and Rose, it says, even though they were warned from the rabbit family that that the lizards were cannibals, it just dawned on her. She like, "Do you guys think they're fattening us up to eat us?" And when they realized that, they stopped. You know, my my whole issue. Well, this is my perspective, what I'm noticing, especially in this country right now, especially in this country, and with the race that's going on between Kamala and Trump. For me, right now, my heart and my mind is toward the children. It seems like there's one party that's into cannibalizing their children, they're eating their own young. And when you start to cannibalize the children and eat your own self, you actually stop thinking out of reason. And when you start to cannibalize children and cannibalize people, you stop losing respect for them and understanding that those people were made in the image of God, and you start to devalue people, and they even start to devalue themselves. I don't get it. I don't get all the cannibalization that it seems like one party is obsessed with, and people are fighting for the cannibalization, especially towards the children. Again, I said, like, my heart is towards children, and if you destroy children, there's no community and there's no future. I don't get it. But then part of me does understand, because no one wants to be called out on their nonsense, especially on one side of the party. And I'm not a Republican. I'm just looking at it just logically speaking. Both parties, I get it, they're flawed. But right now, I I don't understand. And for me, it's not even a race thing. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a Jewish thing. Not a Haitian thing. It's not a Hispanic thing. It's, for me, it comes down to right or wrong. When everything becomes relative, I can't trust you. Even at times, I have to make sure that I'm not just walking the line of familiarity, all for the sake of going along to get along, but I'm not calling right and wrong. That gentleman that apparently he was set up to do something, if not shoot Trump, he was going to shoot somebody. He was ready to take the life of someone. It made me wonder, who are these people and why are they so interested in the downfall of one man and the lies that they believe? If they believe that he was going to destroy the country, why didn't he do it in his first term? People surround themselves with lies to hold on to the deeper lie which is within their subconscious, because a lot of them really don't want to be judged for what they're doing in their own lives. So they try to blame other people. I wasn't even sure what I was going to talk about today, but when I watched the story with my children about how the rabbit family warned Martin and Rose and his friends about the group of lizards that were cannibals, it was interesting to me. Be careful who's around you, who's feeding you and keeping you enslaved, who's giving you stuff to drink to keep you enslaved. They look like they're friends, but they're not. As the verse in the Bible says, faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of the enemy are deceitful. You gotta think about what we're doing for our family, for our community, for our country, especially for our children. At the end of the day, it's all about the children and it's about connecting. I think that's why I started to write even children's books. I'm working on my fourth one now. It's about connecting, it's about building, it's about creating the type of life that we want to have, the type of community that we want to have, the type of country we want to have. But of course, we all have to keep things in the right perspective and starting with God, understanding that we are made in His image. And the moment we start forgetting that, that's when we start to cannibalize and eat each other. It's a food for thought. And that's what I'm talking about today. Y'all be blessed.